Hey, what's up, guys? This is Coach Tex Renberg, DFW Penguin Basketball. Before we get started, man, like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so. It hurts nothing at all. If you don't want to subscribe and see my beautiful face every day, okay, talking about how to coach and how to shoot and how to dribble and how to pass, okay, that's great. Just hit the like button. It helps the channel grow, and it helps me out as well. So I want to get right into this, and this is something that kind of not strategy, but it's just a few things that a lot of coaches, youth basketball coaches, when I talk about youth basketball coaches, I'm talking about from age 5 to 18, they don't know this stuff. And if you're a person who's watching this, you actually care about your kids' growth as a player, in the youth level, grassroots level, and stuff like that. This could be very, very helpful to you. These tips that I'm going to give you, I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 9 tips to help you become a better coach that a lot of guys don't know, or they takes them a lot of experience to catch on to this. And some of this stuff is my personal preference. Like, everybody knows certain things, like repetition. The more repetition you have with kids, the more times you do something right with the kids and your players, the better they'll become, right? But these are little gems that I personally feel that are very, very important to a coach, becoming a better coach and being a very good coach. And if you constantly keep this in your mind and you repeat this and you make these 9 things a part of you as a coach, it will help you out in the long run. Now, there are a bunch of other little variables that, just naturally you as a person, the way you grow up culturally and stuff, is going to be able to help you relate to kids and stuff and be a good coach, like being charismatic and your experience as a player and being in situations as a player, help you understand players, your assistant coaches and other things a whole lot better. But that's kind of just based on your experience. Okay, now these are tips that I can just tell you right now to be aware of as a coach that will help you in the long run. So number 1, okay, to be a good coach, okay, you have to actually want to be a good coach. You have to be passionate about it. What I mean by that is, okay, let me just give you an example, okay? Let's say you're a chef, right? You're a kid, you're an 18-year-old kid and you want to be a chef. Or you want to be in the service industry, as far as like food service industry and stuff. All right, and your first job to get your feet wet that you could get as an 18-year-old is, without any experience, is working at McDonald's, right? Now, okay, you're 2 months into that and you run into a family member or a friend and they tell you that, hey, my buddy is a part owner of this super 5-star pristine culinary restaurant, right? Now, at this McDonald's job, you didn't really care about it. You learned everything you need to know in 3 weeks, right? You felt like you couldn't grow from that. So you're not going to be excited. You're not going to really want to work at the McDonald's, right? But when you go to this other place and it's this big thing, it's something that you always wanted to do, and you're interning, you may not even get paid as much as you did at the McDonald's to go and work for this 5-star restaurant, but your heart is in it. You really want to be good at whatever they're having you do. You want to be a really good chef. So what I'm telling you guys is, you got to have that same approach. You have to have that same approach when you're coaching. Okay, you can't get upset when things don't go your way, when you're losing and stuff. Of course, we're all competitive and we want to win, but you can't let that stuff discourage you to where you don't want to do it and you're not passionate about it and you don't want to learn from those mistakes as a coach and grow from them. So number 1, you have to be passionate about it in order to be good at it. Okay, number 2, starting off, okay, you got to know, when you're a youth basketball coach, you can't be worried about wins and losses more than anything, because they're going to happen. Okay, when you're dealing with kids, you can have a 7th grade basketball team and they're head and shoulders above everyone else. And you go out of town, let's say you guys have never lost, and if you've been coaching and preaching to your kids about winning and it's the only thing that matters, when they go and face a team that's better than them and they beat them really bad, it's going to take the morale not only out of the players but out of you as a coach, because you're going to feel like you failed. So my main thing I've always been about is developing, helping guys get better. That's what I'm about. Because I mean, with my story, you know, I didn't have anybody in my family to teach me how to play basketball. I learned how to play myself. I ended up ultimately without any guidance from a coach, a family member, or anything, a mentor. I ended up being a Division I player at one point, and I was pretty decent. So, you know, my whole thing is, you know, now with the kids that I have, whether they're really good or they're developmental players, I get a kick out of helping them get better. And I know how to get them better basically because of my experiences, me teaching myself how to play and me playing multiple positions growing up. I know how to train different guys, different body types, different speeds, different sizes, different positions. So what I'm saying is you can't get caught up in winning. If you do that, I mean, you know, when you lose, you're going to feel like you failed. And that's not always the case. All right? Number 3, you have to understand that all kids are different. You cannot coach every single kid the exact same way. It's not going to work. It is not going to work. For example, let's just talk about the verbal part of it, right? Communicating with a kid. We're not going to even get into how to do it, but, you know, mainly coaching is the way you communicate with them, not the way, it is the way you discipline them and different things, but we're just going to focus on the communication part. So let's just say this. Everybody has family members, right? So let's say you got 3 uncles. You got Uncle Ronnie, you got Uncle Bobby, and Uncle Mike. Okay, Uncle Ronnie is always joking and playing. You can talk around. Let's say you're 14 years old, 15 years old. Since you were a kid, he's always joking and playing around with you. When you go to visit him, he's always fun. He lets you curse. He lets you just do anything, man. Because that's just, you know, Uncle. What did I say? Ronnie, Bobby, and Mike. Uncle Ronnie just lets you do whatever you want to do because he just is kind of a free-spirited guy, right? Then you go to Uncle Bobby. Uncle Bobby is really about working in growth and spiritual stuff. So when you go to visit him, you know you have to act a certain way around this guy, this uncle. They're all your uncles. But with Uncle Ronnie over here, the first guy, you can just be free-spirited and be a kid and be wild and not clean up and all this stuff. This guy in the middle is going to have you doing all kinds of spiritual stuff and making you work when you go over his house. He'll talk to you, and he may let you get off a curse word every now and then, but you know you have to act totally different with these 2 guys, right? And then you got Uncle Mike. Uncle Mike is totally stiff, mean, hard-nosed, but you know at the end of the day he loves you, right? But what I'm saying is, this may not be a good analogy, but what I'm saying is, if you have these 3 different types of players on your team, one kid, okay, is a wild kid that you have to always get on, right? You have to always keep him in check, right? This is Uncle Ronnie, okay? This is little Ronnie, okay? You have to always keep him in check. If you don't, he'll get wild and do whatever he wants to do. The middle kid is basically like kind of like a basic kid. Like, you know, you got to get on him a little bit. You got to get on him a little bit here and there, but for the most part, he does what he's supposed to do. Sometimes if he hangs out with Ronnie on the team, he'll get to acting a little wild, but you can easily check him like this. And then you got little Mike on the team, okay? Mike, you don't have to say anything to, ever. You don't have to push him. You don't have to yell at him. If you correct him, all you have to do is pull him to the side and talk to him, and he automatically fixes it. So what I'm saying is, you can't treat Ronnie like you treat Mike. They're 3 totally different kids. Okay? You have to understand as a coach that all kids are different, and you have to find a niche on how to treat each kid and get the most out of them. If you don't, that kid, you're going to end up losing that kid mentally, or you're not going to get the full potential out of this player. All right? Number 4, okay, as a coach, you have to have an abundance mindset with players. Meaning, if a coach is not following your lead when you're coaching, if a kid is not following your lead, he's not listening to you, he's doing his own thing after you repeatedly tell him what to do, okay, or they're having an issue where they're threatening to leave the team or quitting the team, or they're always complaining or something like that, you got to let them go. Okay, regardless of their talent. They may be the best player on the team. Sometimes you just got to let some of these kids go. Okay? Because there will always be another kid that comes around that you either develop into that kid's talent or is just as talented or better than that kid. If you let a kid run over you or let a kid dictate what you have going because of their talent, a lot of times it trickles down to other players and they won't respect you as well. So if the head of the body, which is this talented kid, can get scolded and listen, everybody else will. But if this guy is not doing it, the other kids won't fall in line a lot of times. So sometimes you just have to let that player go and have an abundance mindset to where I have an abundance of players that I can get. I'm not afraid to let this talented kid go if I need to. I don't want to, but I need to. All right, so that's number 4. Number 5, okay, the more talent that you have on your team, the more players you have with a high basketball IQ, the less you have to coach. Let me say that again. The more talent that you have on your team and the higher their basketball IQ is, the less you have to coach. Some coaches get wrapped up in overcoaching because they're used to overcoaching untalented players. Okay, I have players. You guys probably soccer, and a little bit in football, depending on your position. And other sports, individual sports like tennis and golf. Okay, skill is above everything. Okay, if you're a coach and you're trying to get your kids better, you have to work on skill work. You have to implement that. You have to preach that. You have to push that. Okay, a lot of coaches, they go and do team drills the whole time, and they do scrimmaging the whole time, and they, work on defense the whole time. Okay, that's great. Okay, in the two-way sport is basketball, but you have to work on kids, work on their skill, man, because if you don't, kids will get left behind. A kid can only dominate so much with their athletic ability and speed and strength. At some point, it's gonna be a kid that's so skilled that will run circles around a kid that's athletic and big and strong but unskilled. So if you're a coach, man, you got to implement skill work, whether it be ball handling, dribbling, whether it be dribbling the ball and soccer, kicking the ball, shooting, or whatever that may be called. I'm not a soccer guy, but you guys get what I mean. You have to work on skill and preach that. Okay. Number 9. 8. I'm sorry. I don't know which one it is. Okay. I had to start over because my camera died on me. All right. Don't overcoach. Now, I already talked about the more talent you have on the team, the less you have to coach. But what I mean by in the team concept is you don't want to overcoach. What I mean by that is let's say you're a coach and you're trying to come up with a strategy to beat a team. Okay. Now listen. If you're going over another team's out of bounds plays, their press breaker, their offense on all of their offenses. These kids don't even know their own offenses and press breakers and all that stuff. So if you're trying to go over a team's whole scheme and their whole playbook in a matter of a day or two or 3 hours of practice, okay, a lot of those kids are not going to retain it. There's going to be a couple that are, but a lot of those kids are going to be like, Coach, let's just line up and kick their ass. With me, I used to listen to a little bit. It was like, Coach, I'm not gonna learn everybody's playbook. And even if you do learn another team's playbook through strategy and all that stuff, okay, there's still threads that you may not know or be able to cover as a coach, and you still have to be able to stop it. If a kid is hot on the other team and he's hot, and you can work on going and doubling the kid, but if he shoots a 3 out of that double, you don't cover him fast enough. There's nothing you can do about it. So don't overcoach him and over-strategize. To me, they're just really, really bad. Sometimes planning is good, but over-strategizing in sports with players, a lot of times it doesn't really work out too much. It's a couple of players that will get it, but it's a lot of guys that won't. Like if you have a quarterback and you preparing him for the coverages and stuff, that's different. That's one guy, and that's his job is to do that. But you can't have every guy on defense knowing the other team's whole playbook if you're in football. Like they're gonna catch on to some of this stuff. Just like officially, Like if I'm a cornerback and this guy's a receiver, if he just beats me on the route, even though I know the route, if he just beats me and kicks my ass and catches the ball and runs it in for 6 points, there's not too much I can do about that. I can know what he's doing, but if he's just faster and better than me, and he just beats me on one play and I get burned, that is what it is. All right? You have to remember, as a coach, to push these guys, but you want to remember to compliment them when they make good plays. Okay, kids love that. Like, as a coach, they already expect for you to get on them, correct them, yell at them, push them and stuff. But when you give a kid a compliment on a play, even if it's small, something that they don't think they did well, or they don't think is important. You tell them, hey man, that was really good that you rotated on defense and you stopped that guy from making a move, even though you didn't block a shot. That's great, because the kid's like, okay, well, hey, I did this, I'm gonna do it 2 more times, and it just builds and builds and snowballs. Because most guys, especially in basketball, they don't feel like they're contributing to the team unless they're scoring. Okay, they don't think of a good pass a lot of times unless they're a person that likes to pass. They don't think of making a good pass or a play is something that's great, But you as a coach, you should be able to recognize some of this stuff and be able to point them out to, hey, Bobby, you know what? That pass you made, even though it was a pass to a guy that ended up making an assist pass, that was a great pass and you set that up. Okay? Kids love that. People love those types of compliments, period. All right? So give compliments to your players, even if it's big, on a big or a small play. All right? I don't know which number we're on, but it's down here. All right. You always want to have guys that want to play for you. If you have a kid you can tell that does not like playing for you, if you're in grassroots sports and younger sports, you can tell that a parent or something doesn't really like playing for you. They don't really enjoy it, and they're kind of giving you not backlash, but you tugging and pulling with them for a long time, and they're just not coming into it and not buying into what you're doing. That kid probably doesn't want to play for you, and you probably need to let them go. Okay, I'm big on having guys that want to play for me, want to be a part of my program, want to get better, wants my instruction. Okay, if that person don't want to play for you, there are plenty of other people that they can go and play for, and you should have that mindset of, I'm cool if you don't want to play for me. That's fine, 100% fine. You want to have people that want to buy in, that believe in your system, believe in your coaching, believe that when you say, hey, you know what, guys, it's 30 seconds left, we're going to run this play and we're going to win this game. Not a guy that's, we want a guy like, yeah, coach, looking you in the eye, yeah, I believe you, yeah, we're going to do it. Okay, those are the guys that last, those are the guys that are going to play their butt off for you, they're going to run through a brick wall for you. All right? And the last one that you guys need, the last tip I'm going to give you guys is very, 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 very important. Okay, I don't have a lot of assistants. When I coach, I don't have assistants on the bench with me. I like to kind of figure stuff out on my own. And I like to be able to communicate with the kids directly. And, some guys have assistants on the coach. And, assistants on the bench, I'm sorry. They have assistant coaches, but so I see some of these other guys that have coaches and their assistants either bring the team down with over commands or their team is not, or the assistant coach is not on the same page with the head coach. Okay, you need to make sure your assistant coach knows that he is an assistant coach. Okay, now even if your assistant coach you feel like is a better communicator than you, he's a better trainer than you, he's better on the X's and O's than you, he may be overall better at everything than you, or just a couple of things. But that person needs to know that they're assistant and they're there to help. They are not the lead. Okay, maybe when you're not around, they're the lead, but they need to know that they are the assistant and they are there to help. So whatever task you give them, they need to handle. I like for my coaches to be more of motivators. Give compliments, sit down, I get on them and scold them. I like for them to tell the kid on the bench what they did wrong. All right? So just know, if you have assistant coaches, okay, make sure that you have a communication and you have an understanding with this assistant coach that they are the assistant, they are not the boss. They are not the head coach. All right, guys, that is pretty much it. If you have any questions, go ahead, leave a comment. I'll respond to it. It's not like I have a million subscribers or anything, and I'll see you guys later.